everybody, I'm Megan.
And I'm Cody.
And welcome back to the New Heights Kids YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be doing part 2 of the fun mind and body experiments that you can try at home. So, let's get into it. Alright everybody, so the first trick that we're going to do involves a candle and a lighter or a match. So if you can't do this by yourself, be sure to get your parents' help. So the first thing we're going to be doing is lighting the candle. Now, what we're going to be doing is the cool part of this experiment is if we blow this candle out and we try to relight it, we can relight it without touching the flame directly onto the wick again. Let me show you. Pretty neat. Let's watch that again in slow motion. Alright, well, I thought that was pretty cool in slow motion. Let's go on to our next trick.
Alright, so for this next trick, you can kind of set it up however you want. So you're going to need some matches, you're going to need something to light the matches, either a match or a lighter, and then you're going to need 2 similarly sized cups, and something if you want to put underneath one of them. So what you can do is go up to one of your family members or friends and say, hey, I'm going to put like this quarter, for instance, underneath one of these cups. Now the object would be to get that quarter out of the cup without letting the match fall from in between the 2 cups. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to menangle the match so that it sits in between these 2 cups like that. So then what you would tell them to do is, well, can you get the quarter out of that cup without letting the match fall? And you're like this, and you're like, no, I don't know how to do it. So I'll show you how. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lighter, another match, and I'm going to light this match. But as soon as I light it, you got to blow it out as fast as possible. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this cup. And just like that, I got the quarter and the match stuck to the cup. So go ahead, show your family members. Oh, there it is, finally fell. But hey, I got a quarter. Okay, so for this next trick, you're gonna need some matches, a quarter, some sort of coin, and yourself. Okay, so for this trick, you're gonna have to arrange those matches so they look like this cup kind of here, or it kind of looks like a field goal in football if you're familiar with that. And then you're gonna put the quarter right inside the cup right there. So now the object of this essentially trick or game is you're gonna ask the person that you have to get the coin outside of the cup without moving the coin and only moving 2 matchsticks. Just kind of like that. And so like if she moved it around, you know, she created the cup, but it's still in the cup. So it might take a lot of tries on your friends and family's part. But you have to make the same cup shape. So you gotta get the cup. No, it's hard. So actually, to get this trick, it's a lot simpler than you may think. So as we come in close here, you're gonna see you can only move 2 matchsticks and you have to create the same cup form. So this one's gonna be pretty easy here. So all you're gonna do is it's in the cup now. I'm gonna slide this one over, take this match right here, and ta-da! The quarter is outside of the cup, and the cup is now just upside down. But I still have the same cup shape, and the quarter is outside of the cup.
What?
I know.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. So be sure, show that to your friends and family.
That was like super easy.
I know.
Well, on to the next one, I guess.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Okay, so for this next trick, many of you have probably maybe even done it or at least heard of it before. And so what you're going to need is 2 books that are similarly in size as well as the same number of pages. So we have these actually two Christian doctrine books that we're going to use because they're the same exact book. The object is you're going to interlace, kind of like your fingers, you're going to interlace the pages of the book and so that they're essentially intertwined, so they'll overlap kind of like that. And then what'll happen is at the end, it'll be literally impossible to pull the 2 books apart. Now, a lot of you are wondering, like, wow, what's like the amount of strength that will be needed? Well, actually, Mythbusters did a whole episode on it, and they intertwined 2 phone books, and it took 2 tanks, 2 military tanks to even try to separate the 2 books. So it's kind of crazy. So you got to be sure just to interlock them perfectly. So We're gonna interlock the two covers first, and then we're just gonna go pages by pages. Now you don't have to do every single page, you can do a couple pages here and there, one side then the other, one side then the other, and then you're just gonna keep doing that. Alright, so now that the books are completely intertwined like this, now what you're going to do is you're going to turn it over to someone and see if they can separate the two books by pulling them apart. So Megan, why don't you give it a try?
Alright, I'm going to try to pull these books apart. I can't rip it apart. This is very, very difficult. Did you want to try, Cody?
No, because it's impossible.
Then why'd you make me try?
Because it's fun! So be sure to do it with your friends and family, because it's so fun seeing them struggle.
Alright, so let's go into our next trick.
So for this next trick, it's a body trick. You're just going to use your hands. And so there's actually a story that kind of goes along with this one, so you can tell your friends and family. And so you're going to go up to them and you ask them and say, do you know why we put our wedding rings or engagement rings on our ring finger? Or why they call it the ring finger, which is, you know, that one and this one right here. And so the reason being is because these two fingers cannot be separated. And so like a marriage, you know, what God puts together, let no man separate. And so there's a fun trick you can do to show that. So actually what you're going to do is you're going to put your fingers together kind of like, you know, you're just about to interlock them. But instead what you're going to do is you're going to take your middle fingers right here and you're going to put them so that they're kind of flush against each other like so. And then what you're going to do is you're going to touch your ring fingers, touch your pinky fingers, touch your index fingers, and touch your thumbs. So you kind of create this shape right here, and then your middle fingers are touching. Now what you're going to do is you can go to each pair of fingers and you can separate each one besides the ring fingers. So you can open up your thumbs, open up your index fingers, open up your pinkies, but you can't separate your ring fingers. It's not possible. So remember, what God puts together, let no man separate. I can't do it. It's very difficult. Wow, man. Crazy, right?
Very crazy. That's a pretty neat trick, Cody.
Our bodies are awesome. Alright, on to the next. Okay, so for this body trick, it's probably going to be a little bit easier if you sit on the floor or on a chair, so the other people are going to be a little bit taller than you. And so what you're going to try to, bet them is that I'm going to place my hand on top of my head, like so, flat on my head. I want to keep it there. And now what they're going to try to do is they're going to come and try to lift your hand off your head, but they can't actually touch your hand. The only thing they can touch is your forearm or your arm. And so it'll actually be quite difficult. If you're a little bit weak in your hands, it might be a little bit easier, but most people won't be able to completely lift your hand off your head. So you ready, Megan?
I am ready. Except guys, I got this. Oh no. Oh no! Nope.
I'm sorry, my hand is glued.
Okay, fine. You try. You try me. Huh?
Okay.
Bet you can't do it on me.
So the reason this one works is because when you put your hand on your head, like so, and then you lift your arm up like this, what happens is when they're only allowed to lift your forearm and the arm, what happens is when they lift, the point where they lift is actually your arm and your shoulder, and so they end up lifting your whole body weight instead of just your hand. Obviously, if they lifted your wrist here or your hand, it would come off much easier. So if I lift Megan's hand or wrist, boop, boop, much easier. But if I only lift her forearm and arm, much more difficult. So that's why that trick works.
That's pretty neat. Alright, so I think we have one more trick for you guys to try at home.
Okay, so for this last body trick, all you need is a wall and, well, your body. So, it's very simple. All you're going to do is you can do it on either side, either the right side or the left side, is you're going to say that I bet that you cannot put your foot all the way against the wall, put your hip against the wall, and put your shoulder against the wall, and then lift up the opposite foot without falling off of the wall. So your foot has to stay against the wall, same with your hip and your shoulder. So it's 3 places. And the object is to lift this foot up. And you can't obviously grab the wall, that would be cheating. Because you gotta lift up the foot while balancing onto the without coming off the wall. Okay, trying to see if I can shift my weight. Go to the right side. No, it doesn't work. Alright, we're gonna see if Megan can do it.
Alright, so I'm gonna try the same thing Cody did. And I'm gonna think heavy thoughts on my right side. So maybe I can balance it. No. See, it's possible if you hold yourself, but not if you are just using your balances. So, you know, it's not working. You guys should try this at home, and if you are able to do it, then you guys should video yourself doing it and send it to me, because it is impossible, and if you can do it, then I will give you a prize. Alright everybody, that is all we have for you guys today, so thank you so much for joining us. We really do hope that you enjoyed these videos, because we love to make them. And if you enjoyed this video in particular, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future videos that we make for you. Alright guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye!
Bye!